Resumes are effectively your brand. It's your first entry point. And so there are certain things that you should do when you're thinking about creating an effective resume. Before you sit down with pen and paper, take the time to think about who you are and what your story is. The easiest thing for you to do will be to get the facts and figures right. Where you went to school, what your grade point average is, test scores, etc., jobs that you've held. Get those things crisp and accurate. Baseline, accurate, crisp. Then the words you choose are increasingly going to be as important as the way that you highlight the data. And why are they increasingly important? Because technology is enabling companies to really get beyond just simply the data. So make sure that you're using words that succinctly and accurately describe who you are and what you contributed to the effort. It's terrific to include any data in that context. You started an organization, you increased the profitability of your function. How and to what? So be specific, but also make sure that the qualitative aspects of your resume are a reflection of who you want people to see you in the role. The best way to deal with stress associated with interviewing is first, get prepared. Do your homework. Really look into the company's ethos, and what they're looking for and have articulated for in that particular role. The second thing is really make sure you prepare your story and the key points that you want to make about yourself and why you are a great candidate for that particular role. And then I'd say the final thing is to stay calm, cool, and collected. Often you might find that your confidence comes from the way that you're greeted in the room. I would love to say that all interviewers get that right. They're equally open and engaging with whomever walks in the room at whatever time on the interview schedule they're speaking with you. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So whether you're getting a positive vibe in that first 10, 20 seconds or not, stay focused. Make sure that you're maintaining eye contact, that you're intentional and present in the conversation, and don't get distracted. Every now and then, you're going to get one of those questions. Perhaps the most bizarre one that I still haven't figured out the answer to is you're on Mars, you're looking at Earth, there are black dogs, white dogs, there's a certain neighborhood, a certain corner. What are the probabilities that you're going to run into more black dogs versus white dogs? Really? What's the answer to that question? Perhaps there isn't an answer to the question. Perhaps what the interviewer is trying to do, one, is to show their uber intelligence. Perhaps it's just they want you to figure out how you work through unanswerable questions. Either way, take a moment, think through it, and start to frame your answer. Start to let the person know how your logic is building up to a suggested response. And again, stay focused, don't get distracted. The best way to follow up from an interview is to follow up. Send a quick email. Thank the person for their time. If there was something that was particularly interesting that you'd like to highlight, something that you'd want to add to it, please do. I would keep it short. I would keep it to the point. And I'd always include the closing line. I'd like to keep you posted on the progress with this and other opportunities. You may or may not get a response. Don't be discouraged. Following up is really critical. The other key point is to make sure that you're also following up with the person in HR. Why? Because they are the subject matter experts in identifying talent within the organization. They have insights that the business person or the functional person may not have, and they, quite frankly, often will give you feedback that you may not necessarily get from the multiple people that you've interviewed throughout the organization. So follow up, be succinct, and leverage those relationships for the future.